Hello, class. This is homework number 7. So what you're going to need is the sheet, 6 questions on it, and you're going to need a reference table. All right. So let's take a look at it. Question number 1. The diagram, aka this like 3D map, shows latitude measurements every 10 degrees. So latitude 10 degrees and longitude measurements every 15 degrees. What is the latitude and longitude of point X? Before even looking at point X, we got to start understanding what the map is saying. So first thing that I think about is latitude. The latitude measures in every 10 degrees. What does that mean? Well, first off, we got to remember latitude, latitude, right? So latitude is going to be the lines that pretty much go across or laterally. And in this case, they're all based off of the equator. So if this is the equator here, everything that is above that is going to be north. Everything that's below that is going to be south. And the equator is 0 degrees. So if it changes by 10 degrees, that means every line up is going to be an increase of 10. So this line up is 10, 20, 30, and you should write this stuff on the actual tests, on the quizzes, on the homeworks, on the worksheets, on everything. 70, 80, and it should end at 90 up at the top because the North Pole is 90 degrees north. So we're good. All right, so we've got the latitude. It is going to be 50 degrees because it's 5 lines up and they go by tens. 50 degrees, and it's above the equator, so that's going to be 50 degrees north. All right? Prime meridian for longitude. Every measurement is 15 degrees. So this is different. Prime meridian is 0 degrees. So that means this next line over is going to be 15 degrees. And this next line over, let me make that degrees line small. This next one's going to be another 15 degrees, which is 30 degrees. The next one's going to be 45 degrees because we keep on adding 15. So if we follow this line up, this 45 degrees line, we see that X falls on it. Now here's the tough part. Where's west and where's east? So what you got to know is that to the left of the prime meridian is going to be west. To the right of the prime meridian is going to be east. So if you're looking at the prime meridian, it's going to spell we. All right? Not ew. So ew would be like that, right? It doesn't spell ew, it spells we. So the left is the prime meridian, so 45 degrees W west, right? Is that an option? Yes. Okay. So, circle the correct answer. Next, the approximate latitude of Utica. Latitude, flatitude. Now, what you should memorize is that all of these 40s line up with other 40s, and they go flat across. So the 40s are going to be our lines of latitude, and these 70s, 74, lines up with this 74 down here. This 75 lines up with this 75, and those are our lines of longitude. So what it's asking us is latitude, flatitude, of Utica. So let's find Utica. It's on here somewhere. Here's Utica. Now we're going to carefully go across, right? I curved mine a little bit. Shouldn't do that, so it should be straight across. Go straight across, and it's a little bit above the 43 degrees line. What we need to remember is that there's 60 minutes between 43 degrees and 44 degrees. And halfway, the halfway point would be 30 minutes, right? So this line here is 30 minutes. So it's going to be less than 30 minutes. And it's actually going to be way less than 30 minutes. So between 30 minutes and the 43 degrees and 0 minutes is going to be about 15 degrees. I'm sorry, 15 minutes. So it's going to be about 43 degrees and a little bit of minutes. Let's see if we have an option for that. Okay, I see 2 options here. 43 degrees and 5 minutes, 43 degrees and 5 minutes. Now we just have to figure out if it's north or south. Well, you always need to remember, and I use this little key down here. New York is always in the northwestern part of this compass, and it is in the northwest part of the map, okay? So we'll look at this a little bit more some other time, but New York will always be north and west. So in this case, the latitude is going to be our north, and it's 43 degrees in 5 minutes. Nice. Question 3. Which sphere of Earth? So just so you know, the spheres of Earth are going to be including these 3 major things. And what's another word for the crust? Another word for the crust is the lithosphere. So, which sphere covers approximately 70% of Earth's surface? So if you memorize this, the atmosphere actually covers all of Earth's surface. And underneath the atmosphere is going to be the lithosphere, which lies underneath all the oceans and is making up about 30% of Earth's exposed surface. So in this case, our answer is actually going to be the hydrosphere because it covers about 70% of Earth's surface. And if you look at that map there, you'll see that it is mostly blue. It's not all blue, you got some land there, right? But it's about 70% of Earth's surface. Okay. Focus that bad boy. All right, good. Next. So if you look at this data here, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. This is a review from what we had before. So what it's talking about is tides. Tides are going to be these extremely predictable things that cycle back and forth and repeat and repeat and repeat. High tide, low tide, high tide, low tide, high tide, low tide. So because of that, we're able to predict them, and they cycle. So they go high to low, high to low. So our answer for the changing water levels at Montauk can be described as a cyclic relationship. Okay, question 5. Which atmospheric temperature zone is located between 8 and 32 miles above Earth's surface and contains an abundance of ozone? So there's 2 things you've got to know. Not for this question necessarily, but you should know that ozone protects humans or life on Earth from UV light. UV light is extremely harmful. But anyway, whenever I see this phrase, temperature zone, my brain tells me that I have to go here where it says in the reference table, temperature zones. So it's telling me that it's between 8 and 32 miles. I've got to look over here. I've got kilometers and I've got miles. I need to look down this miles category. If I know the scale, let me erase all these little marks I've got. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and then it goes up to 25. So this is going to go by 5s, 5s, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So it's saying between 8 and 32. If you look here, this is 5 and this is 10, so a little bit between that for 8 is going to be right about there. And 30 is this line, 32 is going to be a little bit above that. This area is the stratosphere. Okay? So that's your stratosphere. And 6 is going to be a pie graph. Which element is represented by the letter X? I'm not even sure what this is about, so I'm going to read the intro. The pie graph below shows the elements comprising the Earth's crust. Sorry, a little brain fart there. Earth's crust. Elements. The only place I know where there's Earth crust and elements is in the reference table. Crust. Elements. So it's asking us about letter X. So this area is oxygen, and it's making up most of the Earth's crust by mass. Earth's crust by mass is, yes, oxygen. So what's the second most abundant? Is going to be silicon. This whole gray area is the X, and it is the second largest area, so that's going to be silicon. Okay? So hopefully that helped make some sense of this homework, and have a good night.